Hello, my lovelies. I'm Ginny O, the author with no last name. And today, we're going to talk about how Star Stable Entertainment needs to stand up against the bullying. All of the bullying. Because things are rapidly going downhill, even more than normal, and Star Stable Entertainment has played a huge role in this. So, content warning, we're going to be discussing bullying today. And as you can see, I'm not wearing any makeup because if we're going to have an open and honest discussion, I'm going to be my open and honest self and not put on what little makeup I usually do. So here we go. And if you're going to ask me this question, Ginny, have you been bullied in Star Stable by the Star Stable community? The answer is yes, I have. And what happened was basically because I have been on the internet for 20 plus years, I basically just was like block, 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 and mostly just laughed it off because I know better than to try to feed into it, okay? And I also know the relative age range of the people coming after me, anywhere from late teens to early 20s, and it was just, not worth my time to engage with it. It's happened because I've commented about, what's going on with Star Stable stats when they take stuff out. It's happened because I've, been doing a survey that didn't include demographics because I don't care about the demographics of players in Star Stable Online. It's E for everyone, and I want everyone to play, and everyone to be happy. Okay? All right. So, and a lot of it is I am not bullied in the game because I have been very, very careful, or as careful as I can possibly be. There's probably been a few slip-ups. So if you want to go through my videos frame by frame, you can. But I don't share with the community my username, and I don't share which a server I'm on. And I tend not to reveal my age or my sexuality because neither are any of your business. So I have managed to, even though I am a smaller creator, so, people don't really, see a lot of what I do. Some of my stuff has gotten like 5,000 views, but most of it doesn't because of my algorithms. I have managed to avoid a lot of this, you're too old to play the game, leave, go touch some grass, blah, 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 type of, bullying that is very, very prevalent in the Star Stable community. I am also not on Instagram. I am on Tumblr, but I'm not on Instagram. And I'm not very active on Twitter anymore, and I barely touch my Facebook. So I have found, for my peace of mind, it's better to stay off of as much social media as possible. But it doesn't, just because I have not been experiencing this in the Star Stable community on a regular basis, doesn't mean that bullying in the community isn't a thing. Because it is. And it's bad. And y'all need to stop. Okay? Alright. So, let's Star Stable Entertainment, I do have some notes. Star Stable Entertainment has created, fostered, and downright encouraged the toxic bullying of players in their game and in the community. The bullying ranges from bullying males and trans males to those of us who are older, to the LGBTQIA plus community, and to those of us who have valid critiques about the game. Star Stable Entertainment's public relations, their marketing, and devs who have interacted with the community have either tacitly supported it in their words or by their silence. or have, you know, tried to silence some of the people with valid concerns without taking action against those who lash out at those with valid concerns, or they've taken martyr roles themselves. I'm not going to name names, but if you are following any of the Star Stable Entertainment social medias of these game devs or of the, you know, people overall, you probably know who they are. This is the toxic positivity of their culture coming full circle. In not wanting to hear anything bad about their game, they cover their eyes and put their fingers in their ears and sing la 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 as the community burns around them. Their positivity has led to nothing but negativity, both constructive and destructive. This has led to harassment and ostracism in a hugely divided community. And part of me believes this is on purpose. Okay? Bullying is destructive. It's wrong. No one deserves to be put down or feel like they're worth nothing or be called stupid or chased out of a cute little horse game. No one should have their location revealed. No one should be forced out their gender, sexuality, or age. Dear God, don't use your legal name on social media, please, especially if you're a minor. I don't care what you do once you reach the age of majority in your country, you know, but for the love of God, if you are a minor, don't put a target on your back. Don't reveal your location. Don't tell your age. Don't, you know, say what your sexuality is. Don't tell your gender. You know, don't put up pictures that can be easily reverse Google search to find you. Okay? Take some precautions to protect yourself. Okay? Once you're older than the age of majority, okay, you do what you want. You be down with your bad self. I'm not going to say anything. Well, as someone who grew up as a minor on the 1990s, the later 90s internet, there, protect yourselves because you're not as safe as you think you are, okay? And it's not, you know, the internet has become worse, not better, okay? And Leslie, no one should be told to commit suicide. Period. Not players, not devs, no one. This is basic human decency. Okay? I get comments from people on my videos who are worried, I don't know, that I'm going to lash out at them or someone is going to lash out at them because they have valid critique. And I'm like, no. So I have to sit there and I have to put my arm around them and say, no, this is fine. It is okay for you to have these valid opinions and valid feelings. But the bullying is so rampant in this community that if you say one wrong thing against it, people will come out of the woodwork to attack you and call you all these names and tell you to leave and so on and so forth because they think you hate the game. Oh my God, you're a hater. If you don't like the game, leave it. You shouldn't be here because you're XYZ. And Star Stable has tried to do an anti-bullying campaign. And that anti-bullying campaign was a complete and utter failure. Because it had addressed the exact opposite of what is happening out in the world and in their game. And empowered those to try and shove other people out due to their gender, age, sexuality, anything that makes them uncomfortable, I guess, out of the community. Anything that could be remotely perceived as deviant to certain religious social norms. Well, at the same time, there's erotic roleplays and talk going right on in global chat. There's players telling each other to leave or harm themselves in chat. The hypocrisy smells so lovely. Look. SSE has created this toxic and divisive community who thinks it's okay to bully through a combination of their marketing, what the devs say, in their complete and utter silence on the issue in any constructive way. That is to say, Star Stable Entertainment wants to have their cake and eat it too. They want to enjoy the good parts of having what is a progressive style game for 2010 without dealing with the bad parts that come along with it. The bullying of boys, of adults, in the environment in an MMO game with a chat system for dating and other erotic role-playing. Teenage girls and boys are going to do teenage girls and boys things. Dating is very important at that stage of life. There's a lot of peer pressure involved here. And role-playing online is one way to, I don't want to say safely because it's not true at all, but it's one way to explore such things, and people have gotten hurt because of SSC's lack of safeguards over this. That chat is a complete Wild West show right now. There are no rules, there are no laws. You can say virtually anything you want in global and in say chat, and no one is getting, banished or put on chat moderation, even if you report them, even if you have video proof, server, names, nothing. Nothing is being done because there's no AI in place, there's no filter, it feels, in place, there is no human being sitting there going, no, we don't allow that type of behavior. We don't allow that type of behavior. Ban, 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 ban. You can come back when you learn to be nice. Go sit in a damn corner. And just because erotic role plays and dating role plays and so on and romantic role plays are against the rules doesn't mean it's not happening. Because how many of these kids are actually reading the rules? Most of them aren't. And without a moderator or chat system filter, it's everywhere. Everywhere. Okay? And some servers are worse than others, but it is all over. Thing is, being progressive has changed over the past 10 years. To be more gender neutral in gaming, to embrace having women play your games, because without female players, your game isn't going to be as successful as it could be. They know mobile games make money, and 52% of those who play mobile games are female. They know gays can sell stuff. Lots of stuff. Capitalism follows the money of who is going to buy the product, and Star Stable is no exception, so they're trying to remain progressive. And failing miserably because it's talk, not actions. Okay? Being a game for girls isn't progressive anymore. We are beyond that in the gaming space. Yes, you are going to have that outcry of the 5% who are like, oh my god, you're too woke. Whatever that means anymore. There's such a small segment of the game industry that the industry, the PR marketing firms, the advertisers are no longer listening to them because to make billions and billions of dollars, which mobile games are making, they want the girls to play. They want girls to play Genshin Impact. They want girls in WoW. They want girls in Overwatch and League of Legends and Fortnite. They want girls playing. So this is not progressive anymore. And it's not progressive to bully boys because they ride horses or play a horse game. Sorry, my nephew rides horses. I don't think it makes him any less of a person because of it. I mean, yay, he gets to ride horses. I don't ride horses, but he gets to ride horses. Good for him. Star Stable says, on one hand, they want to be inclusive. And then on the other, refuse to add a male character option or a gender-neutral option, which, by the way, might as well be a male option, and would have the same process pretty much as putting in a male option given SSO systems for how the bust is put on the character. They say the story is about a sisterhood, and then we really aren't part of the sisterhood as a character. Will you stop riding off without us? Please, I'm sick of cinematics of them riding off. And the story for B revolves around Justin more than it does us. In C, changing Concord's gender and putting in they them pronouns undermines this sorority of horse girls together. Let's have a horse person army, okay? Really, did these horse aliens even have the same concept of gender as we do? Question! So they want to be anti-bullying, but only if it's anti-bullying against girls. What type of message is that, honestly? And they want LGBTQIA plus characters, and at the same time won't build the story behind them to make it feel like legitimate representation. Where are my disabled peeps at? I think we've got like 1 in the game, maybe 2. Then where are the accessibility options, controller support, Bluetooth connections, and the ability to change our glow colors, and things for those with different type of color blindness, and voiceovers for more accessibility for younger kids? Where's the font size changer, or the ability to move speech bubbles? If you've got one person working on your UI UX, you need to hire at least 2 or 3 more and get on this, because come on. If you want to be inclusive in today's society, in today's gaming space, this is where where we're at. You got to be accessible for, disabled people. You got to put disabled people in your game. You got to put people of color in your game. You got to have people of different, genders and different sexualities in your game. And will you be perfect at it? Absolutely not. But at least you can freaking try. When all this is brought up to SSE, it's ignored, or it's too expensive, or, well, we don't stop boys from playing. Well, you don't go out of your way to include them either and try to, drag them in. So no, your community drives away boys and trans men and those they would consider too old or too vocal away from the game to play other games like Red Dead or Rival Stars or even older games. Let's be perfectly clear. Without men, this game would not exist. Frederick, the original CEO, is a man. Johan, the current CEO, is a man. 46% of the people working at Star Stable Entertainment are men. Men made your Barbie horse games. Men have dominated the gaming industry space for a very long time. Without men, you don't have games, period. Especially this game. Nils, Magnus, Marcus B, Mark B, Oscar, Ismail, Frederick, Johan, all these very important positions were and are filled by men. So to say that boys and men don't have a place in this game is ridiculous. Men and boys and trans men have as much right to have fun in any horse game, as women, girls, and trans girls. Period. No one should harass them for it. Harassing girls playing WoW is wrong. Harassing boys playing SSO is wrong. It's equally wrong, folks. Star Stable is not a feminine thing as a name. It doesn't have to be marketed with as close to Barbie pink as they can get. Sure, it used to be progressive, but now it's not. It'd be a lot more inclusive for the Soul Riders to rally around a male Soul Rider than it would be a female at this point. Well, it'd be inclusive if they rallied around us at all and had some story where we become friends. Digression. But it shouldn't matter if our character is male or female or non-binary at this point. That isn't where we are and inclusive in the 2020s, and SSE has to get with the times. Your game doesn't exist without adults playing or paying for things. Kids at the age of 8 do not have the money to keep this game going. Their parents do. Adults, again, created this game. You don't get games for kids unless they are made by adults. Period. So try and throw adults out of what is an E10 plus or a 12 plus game is ridiculous, okay? That E means everyone. That 12 means 12 and over. Adults have the right to have as much fun with the pretty horses in a relaxing non-combat currently game as kids. Your whales are those who support the whales are adults. These are the people with the cash to pay for the 6 to 7 horses a month and to buy every single overpriced running pet. Kids do not have a job to support such a thing. So don't chase the adults out of the game. So when an adult is playing a game they paid for with money they earned, don't harass them for that. They want and deserve to have fun too. All this bullying does is it keeps us divided and keeps us from banding together against the one entity who can fix this problem with the power to do stuff with the game. Star Stable Entertainment. SSE could address this and fix their chat system and character system and create actual content and storylines in the game that would be anti-bullying. They could put in a report system. They don't. It's too much work. They can create content and marketing outside of the game that is actually inclusive. You know, for boys, for trans boys, for they could monitor their own social media better and step in more when players actively insult other players in SSO social media spaces on all platforms. Because this happens. Somebody comes in with a valid critique of the game, and the person who is given the valid critique of the game gets their comment removed or shoved down and hidden, while those who insult them, nothing happens to them. That's how SSO encourages bullying. This company is its main market is kids and teens, and it has to be proactive and active about their social media spaces because it's kids and teens who are very emotional and don't have something to stop them in their brains from going, should I post this? No, and not doing it. Look, I was a teen. I did stupid things because my brain didn't tell me to stop and think it through. The brain has to develop, okay? So when you have a social media and you're catering to teens and you have kids on it, even though, kids under 13 shouldn't be on social media, but hey, they lie. They're gonna say things, they're gonna hit enter, and they're not gonna think this through. So you have to be on there going, this is not okay. This is against our rules. All the time. Because it has to be repeated over and over and over. It's wrong today, it was wrong yesterday, and it's wrong tomorrow. That's the only way you can teach kids on how to interact with others. This is not going to stop players from harassing each other outside of Star Stable Entertainment's influence. It is up to us as a community, especially the older players in the community who can think things through, to hold the line against this behavior and say it's not acceptable to tell each other to leave the game we love, to commit suicide, or that they're pedos without proof. This only makes Star Stable Entertainment's job harder, by the way. If you guys keep reporting people without proof of such type of actions, the real ones, the real people who are there to go after kids, have a much easier time slipping in and doing shit. Because Star Stable Entertainment is just going to disregard reports after a while as people being hysterical over nothing. And that's how real kids get hurt. Saying an adult is in a kid's game is pedo by them purely existing puts real kids at risk from those adults who are there to groom and cause harm. Most adults in kids' games just want to be left alone and would really like to socialize with other adults. Because, man, the squabbling gets tiring. We don't want to talk with 12-year-olds, especially if 12-year-olds are going to accuse us of being pedophiles. No, honey, I'm not a pedophile. I just want to ride my horse, okay? Do my little role play with my friends about being soul riders or dark riders, or, maybe we're doing a ranger role play and you're just too young and too emotional and you're causing drama, so we're going to be over here doing our thing and you go over there and do your thing. We used to have a kind of better understanding of this in the internet spaces, but now we don't. So if they reported me for being an adult playing a game without any proof of me trying to find out where kids are or how old they are, and SSO goes through and sees it and wins, you start doing that with every adult in the game, Star Stable Entertainment is just going to stop looking because it's too much work. So then the ones who do adults, come in, and they're not going to say they're adults most of the time. They're going to pretend to be just the same age as you are, and you're not going to find out that they're adults until they lure you off to Discord or something. It just makes Star Stable's job that much more difficult and puts kids at risk. Can it? Unless you have actual proof that this person, is interacting with kids in a bad manner on the Star Stable Online, because they can't do anything about Discord. They can't do anything about Instagram. It has to be on Star Stable Online. Then don't report it. Because Star Stable can't do anything about it. They could do shit about it, if they put in some, actually might have a list of the rules inside the game, work on their AI chat system, put that report button in a better place. Star Stable Online is not a safe place for kids. No place on the internet is a safe place for kids. But Star Stable Online is even less so because of its lack of moderation in the chat system. It's up to parents to teach their children how to handle this stuff, and parents who are my age don't really have many excuses. We grew up in the Wild West of the internet. And in the Wild West of the internet, there were actually more places for kids and more places for adults. And while kids lied, at least they had places they could go and have fun and leave the adults to it when the places where adults went and had fun. Not so much anymore. Algorithms are also making this worse. Social media, and it's pushing people to take extreme views and only engage with arguments with their emotions instead of reason, because reason doesn't encourage people to click likes and make responses, has also created this new age of internet communication or made it worse than it already was. So it's, they want you to get onto Twitter or Instagram and you see something and you don't like it and you're like, oh my god, I'm going to dislike this, or and I'm going to write how stupid they are, and then you hit the comment, and then you keep browsing, and you read all the other comments. And that's how they lure you in. They put things in front of you that they know is going to get an emotional response out of you, and then you keep browsing, and they get to sell more ads. You are the product. So it has created Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and all these algorithms have, in this short form media even, has just made things worse when it comes to communication and made the bullying worse and made the bullying seemingly more acceptable when it's not. And it drives us to find, information that we agree with, that confirms our biases, and into information silos. So, if somebody has a constructive video about the game, you don't want to watch it because, oh my god, they're so negative, they're a hater. You're going to go find a video about how awful that person is as a person, so you can feel better about, them having constructive criticism about the game because you think they're a bad person. So maybe you go and you're like, oh, you're so awful, you need to leave, blah, blah, blah. And the internet encourages this. So we have to, as a community, we have to push back in our own spaces. I mean, that's the only thing we can do. We have to say, hey, bullying is wrong. Or go into SSO and chat and go, hey, stop that. You want this game to be fun? Stop being mean. And it's not easy. And it's hard. And it should not be our job to sit in SSO Global chat and go, hey, stop that, you're being mean. Because we can't do anything. We can't go tell them sit in a corner. We can't put a temporary chat ban. We can't do all we can do is sit there and report them and go, hey, stop. That's another person. Would you want somebody saying that to you? And now their AI was supposed to be doing this, but dear God, it's not working. It doesn't seem to be there. And they wouldn't do this, without that kind of tacit permission and cultivation of divisiveness by SSE. I mean, we have to take a responsibility for our own communication between each other. It's very easy to write that emotion response and hit the send button, especially when you don't have a filter yet to go, is this a good idea? What will be the consequences of my actions? So we have to learn at a much earlier age, because of a chat system that we probably shouldn't have access to yet, this concept of our words have meaning. And yet SSE still bears responsibility because they haven't put the safeguards in place or cultivated a culture in their social media where, things are embraced and they're not actually following through with making their game more progressive in a 2020 manner. I mean, like, people say, we want a male character, we want this or that, and Star Stable just shrugs it off, and it just, or we can't do that, we won't do that, it's too hard. Star Stable Entertainment has to step up and change their toxic positivity culture and become inclusive like they say they want to do, and take a stand against bullying of everybody, all players, no matter their demographic statistics, and fix their game in the marketing of their game. Because only SSE has the power to be like, kids, yeah, we're gonna put a really good chat filter and AI model into our games so that anyone from 8-year-olds to 18-year-olds can use it without fear, We're going to put the rules in our games so you can find them with the click of a button. We're going to put a report system in our game that will take a picture of what you want to report and will include, a picture or the screen cap that you want with our report button. We're going to hire people, actual adults, not 16-year-olds on their spare time, to moderate our chats. And people who know and speak the language of the server. We're going to do an anti-bullying campaign on our social media that is, anti-bullying of everybody. We're going to go and talk to our male social influencers and invite them to be ambassadors. Holy crap. Do they even have any male ambassadors? I can't think of a male ambassador. We're going to give you that non-binary male option. We're going to moderate our social media and make sure people who are calling each other stupid or telling them to leave, whatever, can't post that again on or can't post on our social media, or are reported to Facebook or Instagram or whatever for abusive and bullying behavior. Well, we have our bits of responsibility. We got to be good human beings to each other. Okay, this is not a left issue or a right issue. I don't care about that. We just got to be good human beings to each other. It costs nothing for us to be, kind. Being nice and being kind are two different things, okay? And, it doesn't cost us anything to be like, I hear your opinion. It's a valid opinion. You know, I disagree with this, or I agree with that. No one is ever going to be 100% happy with Star Stable Online. And that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. And yet, Star Stable Entertainment could be doing a lot more, and the management could be doing a lot more and focusing a lot more on on servicing their community and growing that healthy community that they claim they want, instead of sticking their fingers in their ears, closing their eyes, and going la 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 la. So, anyway, if you've been bullying people, stop it. If you have been bullied, I love you. Don't listen to those who tell you to leave Star Stable because, you're a boy or you're an adult or you have valid criticism about the game, whatever. You don't have to do that. Don't give them that power over you. Embrace your truth and your honesty, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, okay? That is the thing. Be yourself as long as you're not hurting anybody else. When you start hurting other people, well, then you've got some work to do. There, by the grace of God, goes I. I've invoked God a lot this video. Anyway, take care of yourselves, my lovelies. Be kind to one another. Stay safe, bless, and I'll see you in the next video.